Lille, first two games under Pochettino, mixed bag. They won at home against Panama and then did not get it done, losing 2-0 on the road to Mexico. So let's just start at the 35,000-foot level first. Your thoughts on the first window for the U.S. men's national team here under their new coach?
Yeah, I think is a very realistic snapshot of what the task is for Pochettino and the national team heading into preparations that will start to come very quick, fast, and heavy when you're looking at, getting in good stead and good form before the 2026 World Cup. It seems like it's far away, but as soon as we get into January 2025, it's going to be all headlights shining on, hosting a World Cup. And, the homie Clint said, when you're hosting a World Cup, there is a lot more pressure to do much better than, we've seen from the national team as of late, as far as a World Cup is concerned. But overall, I think it's realistic because, CONCACAF is difficult, even though these are friendlies. These games are definitely not easy, and I liked some things, and I obviously didn't like certain things.
Well, I think it's very interesting to me in the sense that Pochettino was already managing expectations. He sent a handful of players back to quote unquote protect them along the way. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that and not having your best group against Mexico, which is one of those games, having been a part of it myself, having gotten results in Azteca. US-Mexico is a special game, and I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on players missing that game on the back half of the window.
Yeah, I think it needs to be put into perspective. Watching it as a fan, with a critical eye as well. I was trying to do that while I was watching the game. Clearly, Mexico was a better team. They were the more ferocious team, and they dominated the game. The U.S. wasn't in the game, but everyone knows that. But when you don't have maybe some of your best players in the pool, that's something that needs to be taken into consideration when you're playing against a Mexican team that has its back completely up against the wall. There was definite more motivation in that game for Mexico than there was for the U.S. Not that that's an excuse, but I think that's a realistic picture of what we saw play out. But there was no offensive teeth in the game, and it was a lot of low block defending, which L3 did an excellent job of making sure that they got their home fans in it early, and both their goals were very well deserved.
Yeah, the ball in the other half of the field was not something the U.S. enjoyed. They completed less than 100 passes in Mexico's half of the field over the total of the game. One shot on goal, not good enough. I'm curious to continue on the expectation beat for one note longer. Are people not aware, in your opinion, Jalil, that no foreign manager has ever won a World Cup? Not one. There's been 22 World Cups. Every single manager has been native to that country. So when I hear him say to win the World Cup, is that gaslighting? Or is he sort of making, I guess, in some ways, the American fan, maybe the media, maybe he doesn't think we're as sharp as we are. I'm not sure. But I think it's very interesting that this is precedent stuff he's trying to do. And I don't know if we have the team yet to do something that's never been done before.
Is it gaslighting? Hell nah. Look, I saw an old interview resurface of Tiger Woods, and he was young, maybe his first couple of years on the tour, and he was point blank asked, what are you trying to accomplish on the tour this year or whatever have you? And he was young, fresh faced. He's still fresh faced, but like legitimately fresh faced. And his response was, well, I'm going to do every single thing that I can to prepare. And my task is to win the PGA Tour. Why are you competing if you aren't trying to win? Like,
Facts. Fair.
I don't think it's gaslighting. I don't think it's, but honestly, like, why are nobody is preparing just to participate, unless you are not a professional athlete. Then you're participating for, I always be using this analogy, you're participating for orange slices and Capri Suns. But if you are any national team, if you're any club team, I don't even care the sport. It could be individual, team, or whatever, a mix. You are trying to win. And when you start with that mindset, you have the opportunity to win. You can get lucky and win maybe like 0.5% of the time, but it all starts with the ethos that yes, we can win, and then when and if you don't, you analyze where the chips fell to try to win the next time. So I think that is where things need to start, and I don't think it's an unattainable or unachievable feat, but
No, I hear you on that for sure. It's one of the things, and I appreciate, and Wilford Nancy has said this to me often, impossible is an opinion, and you do
right.
have to speak it into existence. I'm just at a point now where, history is history. And I think we sometimes don't put enough respect on things that have been accomplished so we can lower the bar so the next person can do it. So to your point, we do have to be elevated in our mindset and what we're thinking along the way. Real quick, sneaky stat coming out of that game, those set of games, Yunus Musa. Now, 3,000 minutes for the U.S. men's national team. Only Landon Donovan has played more at the age of 22. That is a sneaky stat. Eunice is definitely on his way to being one of those guys. When it's all said and done, if he stays healthy, he will be an all-time great in so many ways if he continues to play well for both club and country. So, but I think for the most part, all these matches matter. We don't have a lot of time. And I think hopefully there was a lot of learnings that were accomplished, not only for the players, but more importantly for Pochettino and his staff, because the November window and those Nation League matches against Jamaica, those games are going to be hard. And that's going to be his first real test of CONCACAF at night, as the kids say. So we'll see how that learning curve goes. But we're excited to see what transpires.
Take a look, I'm shining. Moonwalk, keep both feet gliding. I'm up now, great timing. When I was down, was you riding for me? When I was down, was you riding for me? Was you riding for me?